Yeah, they really are. I want to go back to Chad Pergram now, because you see right there, we're kind of stuck. I mean, we seem to be in stuck mode, Chad. The nays are still at 5. The yays are at 207. They were at 209. So we're kind of going backwards here a little bit, Chad.
Yeah, nothing has really moved here in about the past half hour. The most dramatic thing that has happened during this entire vote that started around 9:30 was the fact that Thomas Massie, the Republican from Kentucky, had voted yes earlier and then switched his vote to no. Thomas Massie, to be clear, was never going to support the actual bill, but he is now on the board as a no. So that means they have 5 no's. So let me do the arithmetic here. They can only lose 3 votes in the House of Representatives and still pass the bill with only Republican votes. They're not going to get any Democratic votes on this. All Democrats have voted. They're not going to move 216 votes. So this is all on the Republicans. So let me run through who the Republicans are who have not voted, and also the Republicans who are no. And again, this is a test vote. They have to get over this procedural hurdle to actually start debate on the bill. This is actually what they call the rule in the House of Representatives. The rule dictates how you handle the debate on the House floor for a piece of legislation. And if you don't approve the rule, you could not go on to the piece of legislation. So here are the names here. Here are the 5 who have voted no. Keith Self of Texas, Andrew Clyde of Georgia, Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Victoria Spartz of Indiana, and Thomas Massie. Now, as I say, there are 8 Republicans so far who have not voted, and they need to get all 8 of those on board in the yes column and then flip 2. So here are the ones who have not voted so far. Chip Roy, Republican of Texas, Scott Perry, Republican of Pennsylvania, Bob Onder. We have Andy Harris, the chair of the Freedom Caucus, Republican from Maryland, Todd Burkeen of Oklahoma, Tim Burchett, Republican of Tennessee, Eric Burleson, Republican of Missouri, Michael Cloud, Republican of Texas. And I mentioned earlier that David Valadao, who is a moderate Republican, he had been a no earlier, he had not voted earlier, and he is on the board as a yes. So this is what's going on. As I described this earlier, this is kind of a crucible where there's going to be peer pressure from members, there's going to be a little bit of pressure from leadership, and also probably people calling who support President Trump, who support this bill, and trying to, kind of put the screws to these folks. This was an effort by Mike Johnson to say, let's put your vote where your mouth is. You're talking about being against the bill. Are you really? We're going to find out who those people are. We're going to kind of flush them out and understand where they are, and maybe they get a call from the president. But the flip side is, if you're a member of Congress, what you can do is also use this to extract something from the president. You're going to say, I'm going to get an executive order of some sort, or get a promise from the speaker or the majority leader that I'm going to get a bill. But they're going to have to, if this is going to pass, Trace, they have to accept the Senate bill. Otherwise, the gig is up.
Yeah, well, you look at the